Hi everybody, welcome back. Chef Lance here with Outdoor Solutions from Field to Table. This afternoon we're making ourselves a quick stir fry for lunch, so I'm just going to take you guys through the steps with that. We'll be cooking this outside today. Our awesome sponsor RecTech sent us one of their new Matadors to try out, and I can't wait to give it a shot. So for our stir fry today, we're working with an Axis Eye of Round, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this silver skin and all of this fascia, and then I'm going to slice it thin so that it cooks really quickly. That's the key with stir fries, is that you're cooking really hot, really fast. So we just want to remove this connective tissue and all this silver skin, because if not, what you're going to end up with is a really tough and chewy product. We're working with some amazing meat here, so we might as well cook with it respectably. Whenever you're trimming out meat, the seams in the meat let you know where it wants to come apart. Like you really don't have to do a lot of cutting, because these seams, once you get past the initial surface tension, really do pull apart where they are supposed to pull apart. So as I've gone through and removed the silver skin and connective tissue that's inside this cut, I can actually feel the meat beginning to tenderize and feel a lot of the tension coming out of it. So this should be a really tender, tasty cut. So now with the magic of editing, we have broken down our venison sirloin. We've removed all the silver skin and connective tissue, and we've broken it down into smaller bite-sized pieces. We also cut against the grain to try to keep the meat as tender as possible. So we're going to take our meat and we're going to place it in a large bowl here and season it and let that hang out while we're assembling the rest of our stir fry. Now that we have everything in our bowl, we're going to use a great product by our sponsors at RecTech. It's their Asian Persuasion seasoning. So the stuff's really punchy. It's got a great flavor. It's a little sweet. It's a little heat, and I think it's going to pair nicely. So I'm just giving this a general coating. If I had to guess, I'd probably say maybe 4 tablespoons of total was used with this. And we just want to stir the meat around and just make sure that everything's evenly coated. So now that we have our meat hanging out, we're going to go into making our stir fry sauce. So for a stir fry sauce, I love deli containers. These are the most useful container in the world. They're super cheap. You can get them on Amazon, order them by the dozens, and it's the most handy container you'll ever have in your kitchen. So we're going to take 1 cup packed brown sugar. We have a little bit of venison stock we're adding to our mixture, which is a cup. We also have a cup of soy sauce. We're going to add in a little cornstarch. I have a couple of tablespoons of the cornstarch, which is going to thicken this up when we start cooking. A little rice wine vinegar, a little minced garlic, a couple of dashes of fish sauce. I personally like fish sauce. It brings a really nice umami element to this. So I'm going maybe a 1/4 teaspoon. Going to add a little bit of our sambal olik, which is actually it's the fermented pepper from sriracha peppers. We're going to add a tablespoon as well. Add more if you desire hotter. So now we have our stir fry sauce. We're going to see why the deli container is magic. Instead of stirring and blending and trying to get everything to go together, we just put a lid on it and shake. This works great for vinaigrettes or any of your sauces. So now that we have our sauce, we're gonna just take a little taste and make sure that our flavors are on. Perfect. Now let's step out to the Matador and get our stir fry going. All right, so now that we got our RecTech Matador fired up, it's good and hot. We're gonna add just a little cooking oil to the bottom You always want to add cooking oil to a vessel once it's heated, because that's going to allow the pores of the metal to absorb the oil, and it'll keep it a little more non-stick. So what's great with the Matador is we actually have two separate burner rings. We have an inner ring and an outer ring, so you can really control your temperature by having your inner ring really hot, and as these vegetables cook down to a point that I'm not wanting to take them past, I can just push them to the outer edge, and it's almost like having two different heat sources in the same pan. It's really neat. As you can see here, we're starting out by sauteing our vegetables first. The reason for this is your vegetables are a lot more resilient than meat. So we want to get these sauteed to a point that they're just about to our liking. They're starting to get some color, and then we're going to push all of this vegetable to the side and then drop our meat in here. And that way we can get a good sear on our meat. We can still have our meat probably a little closer to medium well by the time everything comes together and sets up for lunch. All right, so now that we have our vegetables sauteed, our Rectech Matador is still ripping hot. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna add in our venison. Yeah, no, this is getting a great sear. I think we can probably go ahead and get it all in there. So what's important to remember whenever you're searing meat, beef, chicken especially, if it's sticking, leave it alone. It will release. That's the best way to avoid unintentional shredded chicken breast. So now that we've got a good sear on this meat, you'll see my spatula very easily pulls it up. I'm really impressed with this because this is a brand new product we're testing today, and we really haven't had a chance to season it, and the high carbon steel pan is acting as if it's seasoned already.
Smells good. Nice brown on there, nice.
Yeah.
So will this pick up like a new meat?
Absolutely.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, you can pick this up. You could bring this to the table on some heating pads, or actually this would be make a great paella pan.
Oh yeah.
So now that we have our meat pretty well seared, now we're going to get to the money part of the stir fry, and I'm going to add my stir fry sauce that we made earlier. I'm going to add it to our mixture, and we're just going to let this all come together and reduce down and thicken. And once their sauce thickens, we'll be ready to eat.
Well, we're going to eat well with that.
We will. I'm excited.
job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh.
If you like this recipe, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications. Thank you.